You're live. Well, hello. I am live. Greetings. Welcome to my YouTube live. I am Queen Tasha. If this is the first time you are watching me, and we're going to get started in a few minutes. Let's just get the vibe right first. I always like to start off with smudging. So if you have some sage or some Palo Santo, you go ahead and light that up. We'll put some tunes on. Some YouTube approved tunes. Just bringing in all the good energy. How's everybody doing today? Okay, I got my chat over here. Yay. Hey, Patrick. Let me know who you are and where you're at in the chat. I'm going back under. Got my eyes in the wild blue yonder. Will lights be on the horizon? Let's go find out. Feeling free to live my life. Free to go. Do a little free karaoke here. I wanna feel free to go wherever I choose. Free to stay or just go loose. Free to sing, free to dance, free to give into lust and romance. Free, that's what I wanna be. All right, welcome everybody to the YouTube Live. In today's YouTube Live, we are going to be, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my life update of my summer travels and also my upcoming winter plans. And then we'll wrap up with some Q&A from a couple questions that I got from you guys, and then my most frequently asked questions. So just let me know if you can hear me, and as long as you can hear me, we should be good. Free to live my life, free to roll the dice. Okay. Alrighty, ready. Let's get started. Let me turn that off. All right. Hello. I hope you guys are having a delightful week. I am planning to have a delightful week. So yeah, we'll jump right into the life update. So last time I talked to you guys was the day after my birthday, which was in August. And from there, I went on a summer travel trip of the Northeast, the New England area, and I went all the way up to Maine, and that was super dope. So I'm just going to break down for you guys what I did. So I spent my birthday in Syracuse in New York with one of my subscribers, Patrick, who is here. Hello. And that was super cool. And then from there, I did a little bit of New York as I was crossing over to get over to the New England area. And I stopped at this place where you can mine diamonds. They're called Herkimer diamonds. I was looking for them to show you, but I don't know where I put them. But basically, it's just like a quartz crystal, but it's a very rare quartz crystal that only grows in that area or whatever. And so it was really cool. So the day that I went, I got there kind of late, and so I didn't do like the actual mining part, but they had this thing called sluicing, which is where they give you like a bag that's full of like whatever you're looking for, and then you just like go out and like sift the bag in the sand, and then you find the little crystals they put in there for you, which was exciting. I think I paid $12 for the bag, and based on all the little crystals that I got, because they appraise it for you there, I got about like $40 to $50 worth of crystals. So I made my money back. So yeah, I did that in upstate New York. And then I crossed over to Vermont. And I stayed just a few days in southern Vermont in Battleboro, which was a suggestion by one of my subscribers. It's a cute little town right there where the New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Vermont corner is. It's like right over there. And I went and I stopped. I pulled in on the day that they had a farmer's market, which was perfect because I was wanting to get a few local goods, mainly Vermont aged cheddar and some Vermont maple syrup. Mission almost accomplished. They didn't have Vermont cheddar, but they had these two different cheeses that I got from there was two different people who were vending cheese, and this guy's cheese was so good, yo. I ate on that cheese for like maybe 2 weeks, just taking a little slither. It was so good. I miss cheese. I miss cheese, but I am dairy free. But I got aged cheese because it doesn't have the lactose in it, which doesn't irritate my tummy. So yeah, I got that, and then I got some other homemade goods. And yeah, and then I spent 2 days parked by a lake, in that area, and that was super cool. And then from there, I went briefly to New Hampshire, and then I went and visited some other nomad friends. Shout out to Jaylene and Jordan from those outliers. And from there, I went to Arcadia National Park, and that was super cool. I'll have a video about that at some point. It is one of the only like national parks in the New England area, and it's beautiful. It's like this island off of the coast of Maine. It's huge, and it's an island with mountains and the beach, which are all now qualifications for my long-term place of home base that I plan to have at some point. So I went there. I did that for 2 days. And then I started making my way back south. And shout out to Boondockers Welcome. If you're an RVer here or van lifer and you don't have Boondockers Welcome, like, make sure you get that, because that helped out as far as plugging up and parking in different places in the New England area, because there's not a whole lot of boondocking spots there. Like, there's not a whole lot of spots to like just like pull up, like Walmarts and stuff like that. Like, that's just like not a thing. It is, but not as readily available in a lot of places. So I ended up using Boondockers Welcome in New Hampshire, in Maine at Arcadia, which was like super dope because I was able to go to the park one day and then overnight at this Boondockers Welcome that was still on the island, and then go to the park again the next day. And I spent 2 days there, 2 mainly full days there. And then I also used it when I got to Massachusetts. So if you are interested, I have a code, Queen Tasha. If you sign up for Boondockers Welcome, you can get 10% off of your membership. This is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just shouting them out because, yo, they were definitely, using that was definitely a great resource tool on my summer trip. I used it a lot while I was up in the New England area and on the way there as well. So yeah, and then I got to Massachusetts. I had planned to spend, so originally I think the last time I did the live, I was mentioning that I was going to spend most of fall as well in New England, and I was going to do Salem for Halloween. Well, due to the fact that my mental health is not great, and I couldn't figure out how to make that work, and it was getting cold, and I was just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Let me not do this to myself this year. I already talked to myself last year about don't put yourself in cold situations on purpose. So, so yeah, I got to Salem. I did get to go to Salem, and I parked at Willow Beach, which if you're in the Massachusetts area, you know what I'm talking about. But if you do plan on taking a trip up there, I parked at Willow Beach, and I actually overnighted there for a night because when I pulled up, I had seen like a Class B RV that was like on the side of the road. And I got there really early in the morning, so I was like, they didn't just get here; they probably was over here overnight. And when I looked at iOverlander, that was a spot, but it wasn't. It said closed, so I was like, I'm gonna test it out. But anyways, Willow Beach is within walking distance to Salem, so I just walked to the city or to the little town of Salem. And on the way, there was a bunch of stuff to see, like the history of the docking area, how they used to do import and export in that area, and then you keep going a little bit. And I went to go see all the witchy stuff. Or I tried to see all the witchy stuff that was open. And yeah, I walked around. I guess it was too early for it to be themed town of witchiness. Or maybe I didn't go far enough, but I went to like the main area where like the witch shops are, the witch memorial, the witch museum, and stuff like that. It's all kind of like in one area. And, it wasn't Halloween, so it wasn't decorative, but, I did it. Let's check in the chat and see who's popped in. Who do we got here? We got Patrick. Hey. Keith. Hello. Aura. Hey. Hey, girl. Hey. And Conan, London, UK in the house. Hey, what's up? So yeah, I was just updating you guys on my summer travel adventures. So yeah, I was there for a little bit, and then I decided to visit my family, which is the reason why I wanted to travel up to the New England areas, because I don't really get to see them at all. The sun is coming through right there on my face. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, that's better. I was like, oh, what is that? So I went there to meet up with several different people from my Guyanese family. Spoiler alert if you didn't know that. They mainly are all concentrated in that area. So I got to meet with and visit with family there for about, let's see, how long was I there for? Probably about a week, maybe a little more or less. And it was really cool. It was really exploratory and nostalgic to meet up with them. So shout out to my Guyanese family. So I did that, and then while I was there and I decided that I was not gonna stay in New England for the time, I had to figure out a plan of going back south, because as you know, I'm a Florida snowbird, so I was going back to Florida anyway. I just happened to decide to go back a little bit earlier, or to start descending back a little bit earlier. So I started that descent Labor Day, or after Labor Day. I left the Massachusetts area and went through Connecticut, and then I got to Pennsylvania. And in my Pennsylvania stop, I met up with another fellow YouTuber and Facebook and Instagram friend. Her name is Vanna Mae on YouTube and Instagram, I believe, and on Facebook. But she has a channel on here. She's another fellow RVer, full-time RVer. And I got to meet up with her in nature and camp out. And that was super cool. And then I went down and stopped in Maryland for the weekend and met up with. Then I met up with another nomad who also has a YouTube channel. Shout out to Tabitha Alexis on YouTube and Instagram, I believe. And we just did a little parking lot pimping kind of thing in a little spot that she has out there. She was doing some work out there, and she showed me her little spot that she was parking up, because Maryland is also not an RV friendly place to be, to park and to be. So yeah, I met up with her for one night, and then when I stopped in Virginia on my way to North Carolina, because that was my next stop to see family, I met up with another Instagrammer. She was also one of the event coordinators for the Black Nomads meetup, Lucretia. She's at House of Lukea on Instagram, and I went and stayed on her land. She has some land in Virginia. It's raw land, and she's planning to stay and live off grid. She has a bus on there. Her and her partner and child are van lifers, and then they have a bus on the land that when they go. Right now, they're not full time there, but they have little things set up, and it's in its toddler stages of growing into what they want it to be. So that was pretty cool. And then I got back to North Carolina to visit with my family, mainly my nieces and nephews. And I stayed at my friend, who is my nephew's stepmom, and she has a channel as well, X and D Life on YouTube. I know a lot of YouTubers. It's crazy, I know. Yeah, so I stayed with her and just caught up on some things and just hung out with family and stuff like that, which is why there was no video this week. And then I left there and met up with an up-and-coming nomad at her house, and she and I and her friend Orda, we all went to a women's circle down in Columbus, Georgia. I'm currently in Georgia. I'm almost to Florida, yay! I'm in Florida. I'm in Georgia now, doing a little stop at an RV resort. But yeah, over the weekend I was hanging out with some new friends, and we went to a women's circle that was so needed. It was so healing. It was so great. I got to meet Earth Mama Medicine, who's on YouTube, Valadia. And I've been wanting to meet her for years. I've been following her on YouTube for years. I've learned a lot about her. She inspires me. And so it was really nice to get to meet up with her at an event that she was holding that I also needed to be a part of. So yeah, that has been my summer plan, or summer travel update. So yeah, I started in North Carolina essentially because that was my next stop after leaving Florida from winter to summer. I left North Carolina after about almost 2 months in July to kind of start my slow ascent up the coast, and now I'm slowly ascending back. And I'm almost there, back to the heat of the night. Sorry, I'm just kidding. So yeah, that is what was my summer travel trip. So one of the reasons why I'm going back to Florida so early or finishing up my summer traveling is one, I realized that my mental health was not doing well, and I needed to go back to my happy place before it gets too cold, before the winter blues comes, so I can get grounded, I can get to work on a few things. And I was really travel fatigued. I'm still travel fatigued because I'm still actively traveling right now. But I realized that I was burnt out. I've been traveling for the last 15 plus months, cross country to California and back, then back down to Florida, traveled all through Florida, came up, then traveled all the way up to Maine, and now I'm headed back, and I'm just I need a break, y'all. I need a break. I need a break for several reasons. I realized the headspace that it takes up to plan your travels, make decisions on things and parking. sensory and social overload, like being places where you know you're not going to be there for a long time, so you really want to force yourself to do stuff and meet with people even if you don't have the space for it. And yeah, so that's another reason why I'm headed back to Florida sooner than I thought. And then also, like, there's a lot of things that I need to be grounded for. Like I said, the traveling full time takes up a lot of headspace. And unfortunately, that leaves little room for other things. Like, you can only give a little bit of effort, at least by myself. Like, I'm traveling by myself and trying to build all these businesses by myself, have a YouTube channel, and have fun, enjoy life, socialize, be with people, like all these different things. And I just was getting overwhelmed by all of it. So I want to make space to be able to really expand my businesses. And I really want to find a partner. And I need to kind of be in one space with that. And also, I plan to make my current RV. If you didn't know this already, I think I've mentioned it a couple times, but the Purple Palace is going to be an Airbnb soon. I'm going to be building out a custom rig. Most likely it will be a box truck. I kind of feel like I want to do boat life soon, but like I don't know if I'm ready for that. But yeah, so my plan right now is to build out a box truck as my next rig and use that to travel the Pan American Highway. As much as I love the Purple Palace and I don't want to get rid of it, and that's why I'm keeping it to make it an investment property, she will not make it in South America or Central America. She's got a young heart, but she's got an old body. So yeah, she's going to be my first income property. She's going to be parked out in Florida, and she will be an Airbnb at some point. And I want to do another rig. And so that's another reason to want to be in one place. So I plan to be in Florida, in Central Florida, from October to May of next year. So that's like 8 months, almost enough to make a baby. And yeah, that's going to be exciting. Oh, thank you, Stacy Eastman, for the super chat. I appreciate you. And Biani Styles, hi, I just came across your live. Next year I will be hitting the road as well. Thumbs up. Yay, Van Lag. So yeah, that's the life update. So I'm prioritizing taking care of my mental health. I'm prioritizing grounding and taking a break from travel. I will always be a nomad, so don't get it twisted. I am not going into an apartment or anything. Like, I'm going to live in the Purple Palace until I set it up to be an Airbnb and switch into my next rig. So it's still going to be my home for quite some time longer, but soon it will be available for anyone else who wants to come and sleep in it. Because I don't really let people come in here while I'm in here. There's only been a few guests, and all of them have been mostly family, for the exception of Sky. Because I'm really territorial about stuff. So I would love people to enjoy it, just not while I'm here. So moving right along, let me get a little swig. Cheers to Tuesday. Ooh, today's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Should I make tacos? I have taco ingredients. All right. So I already kind of clued you guys into a little bit on my winter plans. I'm going to be parked in Central Florida. I already have set up my gig down there. Some people who know me personally know a little bit about it, but I don't want to like put it out there yet until I'm actually parked up there and everything's going good before I like announce it. But I found this opportunity the same way that I have been barter camping in Florida for the last couple of years, which is I put an ad on Craigslist in the wanted housing section under like temporary and sublease or something like that, one of those sections. And I basically big video And I put that up, and I put like basically a picture of myself, my rig, what I am. I sell it with the, I'm a YouTuber things. That's helping to keep some of the creepers away. I still got a lot of creeper responses. I just delete those ones. But I got a good handful, or a little bit more than a handful, of like really good opportunities that would be feasible. So I interviewed two. There was one that was just like, I couldn't pass it up. So that's what I'm going to try for first. I have two other backups just in case that one doesn't work out. But that is basically how I live for free in Florida, as I barter camp. So I'm going to be bartering some of the things that I have as valuable skills that I would charge money for in exchange for a place to park and stay in Florida. So let's see, who do we got? Emma Loss, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate ya. Can you read our comments now? Yeah, I can read the comments. And there's my friend Zabi. Hey girl, hey. Dante has technical difficulties. Get on. Oh, it says it's Dante. Wait, I don't know who it is. It's one of y'all. Hey. So yeah, that's how I'm going to be parked up in Florida for the next couple months. And that will probably lead me into like the beginning of the year, because the plan is to, like I said, park the RV on some land. And one of my best friends, somebody you've seen in my video, shout out to Bree. She is planning to buy some land to have her own community in the future at some point, homestead, garden, just a community of land to disperse. And but she also wants it to be an income space as well. So we are going to collaborate together to have my RV, an Airbnb. She has a tiny house that she's going to Airbnb. And then we might get like a yurt or something else. We also have I just met another person who might want to be in on that as well. So we'll have a couple different alternative living dwellings on the land, so that people can come and have a cool experience. And yeah, so I'll be doing that probably from February. I'll probably move over there and transition over there probably in like February-ish, and then be there till May when I leave. And I'm hoping during that time of building out a box truck and setting up a business that we get all that done by May. We'll see what happens. What else? I also don't plan to travel in my RV too much, except for some like maybe staycation camping, like going to a couple different, because there's a lot of cool places to go in Florida, and they're best in the wintertime just because it's not so hot. Not so hot. Hey Dante, what's up? And who else do we got? Florida is nice and warm. Yep. What's happening is, so I went up to Maine as the temperatures in the south were rising. I went up, and it was really nice weather up in Maine and upstate, basically, during the summer. And now it's that's tipping back, where it's going to start dropping, and I'm headed back down, back south, just in time to not be cold. But I do want to take an international trip, and I talked about going to Mexico, which is still on the table. I'm thinking January-ish. It just depends on, how things get set up, where my headspace is at, and stuff like that. But I'm thinking about going next year to Mexico for a month, staying in an Airbnb or backpacking and hosteling it. Who knows? I haven't got that far in travel plans. But that's what I plan to do. So if anybody would like to join that trip, not anybody, but that's my winter travel plan, is to go even further south, where it's tropical, and I need a break from the United States. Like I need a break from here. It's a lot. Really ghetto here. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I do plan on doing some staycation camping trips. I also do plan to have a meetup still, probably in December. I'll have a Black Travel Tribe, Black Travel Tribe meetup somewhere in Florida, possibly in December. We'll see what happens. I haven't started planning yet, but that's what I'm thinking about. And let's see, what else? I'm looking at my notes here. I think I said everything about my winter plans. So let's get to some Q&As. Let's check the chats again. What do we got? I'm a noob in here. Twisted Chip player. Wait, Twisted Chip plays. Hey, what's up? And good evening, John. How are you? So, I'm going to answer some questions that I got from Instagram and YouTube. And if you have any questions right now, go ahead and leave them in the chat. And I will oblige you. It doesn't have to be RV related, but most of the questions are. So it can be whatever you shall think of. Okay, so here we go. Let me find the questions on YouTube. On Instagram. So Danny Lynn Travels on Instagram asks, have you had any luck finding U.S. Forest Service National Forest land for a cheaper rate on campsites for a cheaper rate to camp versus state parks and RV parks on the East Coast? I know the West Coast has more national forests than the East Coast, so I was just curious as to your experience with this on the East Coast versus the West Coast. So, yes, I have had great luck and success. The East Coast, West Coast thing is a myth. It's different. So, from Florida all the way to Maine, there are national forests, like in different places throughout the states. If you get on Google Maps and you just like zoom in a little bit and look for like the dark green areas, like somewhere in there will say national forests or wildlife management or something along that lines. And that's how I've found a couple of different places that I've stayed at. The only caveat or difference than the West Coast is that you have to make a reservation versus being able to just like pull up. In the West Coast, where it's like BLM land or free land, you could just like pull up to wherever you want to park as long as it says it's that area, and then you just find a spot and set up camp. But on the East Coast, you have to find who's managing that area, and then you can go on their website, look for where they allow camping, and you can make a free reservation. Most of the time it's free. For me, I mainly do free, just as a heads up. Like the way that I camp is mainly free. That's how I keep it very affordable for myself. I don't really like the idea of rent, and rent is your parking fees, your parking stays, your RV stays, stuff like that. If you stay with anybody and you pay them, that's rent. Gas is not rent. Gas is a utility because it can fluctuate, because sometimes you're not moving, sometimes you're not moving as much. So like gas is not rent to me. Gas is the utility bill that is fluctuating, and I don't owe anybody that. I do it based on how I want to travel. So I mainly camp for free, whether it's mooch camping at a friend's house or Boondockers Welcome, like I mentioned earlier, has been a game changer, especially up in the Northeast. I had some friends sign up for it, and they said they didn't really get to use it in the Northeast, and I mainly used it in the Northeast. So I don't know. I'm not sure how that worked out for them, but Boondockers Welcome is a membership that I pay. You pay for the membership, but once you pay for the membership, then you have an access to platform of different people offering places for you to park for free. Some of them ask for a donation, which is fair, but I mainly look for the ones that are free. And they combined with Harvest Host early this year, which I don't know how that hasn't really changed the platform much yet as far as the availability of more stuff, but it's changing how things are working on their platform. So yeah, I mainly do mooch camping. Boondockers Welcome is considered mooch camping in a sense. It's just that I pay a membership to park at strangers' houses versus my friends. And then I do your parking lot pimping, where I stay at Cracker Barrel, Walmart's, truck stops, rest areas, stuff like that. If I'm like in between places, I'll park at those places. And anything Overlander. Overlander is my main place that I like to check out. And the reason why I like that one the best, or that's the one that I go to first, is because I can find stuff like in ideal locations. Like you would not imagine how many times I've parked by the water overnight. Or park by the water during the day, long enough to enjoy the day, and then just like go in somewhere and just like park somewhere overnight that's like close by to that. I like that because I can find things that have been used before, and I don't have to guess. Most of the time I don't have to guess. The only thing I have to guess is if an RV stayed there, because a lot of times they don't put like their rig that they stayed in. I try to be like, I stayed in a purple RV, like when I make my reveals, just so people know, you don't have to be stealthy there. But yeah, so that is how and then boondocking in nature is the other one, is what I meant to finish up with. This boondocking in nature is the last way that I camp for free. And I have found a lot of places to do that, all the way from Florida to Maine. So there's plenty of places. You just have to kind of be resourceful in finding them. So yeah, let me see. Did I answer that question fully? Yes. Okay. The other question was from Eventually. And it says, is dispersed camping for people of color? Safety is a concern and limits my travels. Yes, dispersed camping is for people of color. Anybody can do it. Like, they don't have like a box that says like, you can't come if you're Black. I think people get twisted on that, and I don't look at limitations of who's allowed, who I think does this, or who I think more people would be there. I don't care, like, to be honest. And I don't say I don't care in the sense of like I'm not mindful of my surroundings, of like how people might check me, but like overall I've had all mainly peaceful experiences dispersed camping in nature. Like, nobody's come for me, nobody's bothered me. And if they do, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got stuff, like I'm ready for them. Like, but like I don't really have that much difficulty in my mindset. I think that's really just a limiting mindset based off of fear. And I'm pretty fearless, as you can see, like, and I recite that mantra so that I can allow myself to do those things. But I started out just a little bit here, like went somewhere close, something that was still close enough to town, and then I've slowly just branched out. And there's been places where like I've been in the middle of nowhere with no signal for nowhere around anywhere, and I'm comfortable because I'm learning to be primitive, I guess. I don't know. But I would just say, if you're wondering if it's okay to be Black there, then just run your own social experiment. I do. I generally don't have any issues, but I also think it's about the energy that you emit. If you are having those fears, if you are having those worries, you're going to attract those things. So if you don't go into it with that experience, or with that mindset, or with that feeling, then you'll have a good experience. That's all I got on that one. Let's see what else. I had another one on Instagram. Oh, it was from Patrick. I wrote this one down. Do you have any new business ventures that you want us to support? Well, if you don't know about the business ventures that I have, YouTube is one of them. So if you're watching this, thank you. If you watch my videos, appreciate you. I also have in my description of my videos, I have my podcast that I do. I have not been active on my podcast, but I have a podcast. I also sell a natural deodorant on Etsy, and I'm getting ready to do some events and things like that in Florida to be able to sell those in person. But if you would like to support that, you could check out my Etsy page. It's Queen Tasha's Creations. You could also go to my link tree in my Instagram at Queen Tasha's Empire, and you can find all the links to the things that I do. But and then I also have my professional organizing business, which includes organizing spaces and time, which would be events. And then I also added in, if you are looking for a used RV or trying to get into RV life or van life, and you need some assistance because you have no idea where to start, and you don't know anybody that does it, to be able to ask questions or to have guidance, I offer that as a service. So you can check out my website, StarQualityOrganizing.com, and I will help you out with that. So that's my little plug on that. But I have other things in the works coming soon, but they are not active. So stay tuned to all of those things. Let's see, who else had a question? Oh yeah, there was a question on YouTube. Let's check the chat to see who else has popped in. Keith says, "Hey Queen, I've been following you over a year and I hate your changing plans. I hope you start RVing next spring. I live in LA." I do plan on being back in California at some point. Hopefully by next summer. Early spring, summer. If not, then it's too late. Well, we will see. Let's see. Have anyone ever told you you couldn't park here or you had to move? That doesn't really happen to me that much because I really do my research and planning. There's people that I've met that are nomad that don't use the resources that I do, so I don't know how they're getting along the world but without any resources. But I'm meticulous in planning where I'm going to park so that I feel safe and so that I know that I'm allowed to be there and nobody's going to come check for me. Yeah, I haven't really had those experiences yet. Like I've been knocked on once. That was in Cali. That was out in LA on PCH, but they just like to mess with people every once in a while because people are parked there permanently. And there's signs, but nobody's following the rules. So every once in a while, if they see somebody new or they see somebody stay there for too long or whatever that's new, they'll come and check you. And I just happened to get checked that day because I parked there like a week before for like a couple of days and nobody came. So that was the only time. And all they said was, you got to move across the street, which is like dumb to wake up somebody at 3:00 in the morning to say you have to move across the street. But yeah, I'm very strategic in making sure that I am in a safe location where I want to be and where I know I'm allowed to be and that nobody's going to come disturb me in the middle of the night. So yeah. And have to. Yay, I finally caught you live. Yay. I'm actually about to answer your question. Let me find it really quick. She asked, Havatu on YouTube. Havutu or Havatu? I'm not sure. But it says, "Hey girl, I've been meaning to ask you what made you get rid of your first rig, the Colorful Castle, and how do you prefer the Class A versus the Class C? Which do you think was better for you? I'm about to buy my first RV and was deciding between the two. Thank you again in advance." So they both have their advantages, but overall, I would say I love the Purple Palace. Like I like having a little bit smaller vehicle because it was just me and my dog. And because I was mainly watching van life people, I really wanted to have something that I could go on adventures with. And although I've seen big RVs in some places, they're really not in all the places that I've been, because there's places where I can go and park and just like back into a space as long as I have a clearing and I can take up one space. When you're in a big ass giant RV, you have to make sure you're somewhere where you can turn around and you can park two spaces without causing a fuss, like where there's enough space where if you take up two spaces, you're not taking up all the spaces. So the larger RV was definitely limiting, but I really loved it. It was like a rolling apartment. I didn't really have to downsize too much from my tiny house that I moved from into that. And I just had to get rid of most of my furniture. And I got that because I just wanted to, at the time, I thought I wanted to have the biggest thing that I could afford in my budget. And that's how that kind of came about. But as I lived in it, once you start living in something, you really start to assess what you need and what you don't need. And what I realized is that I didn't really need all that space to do the life the way that I wanted to do it. And so that's why I downsized from a 34-foot Class A to a 26-foot Class C. And I prefer the Class C model over the Class A, but yeah, I have nothing against the one that I had before. I think it's good for, more than one person, little family, and if you're not trying to go on, too many off the grid, not off the grid. You can go off grid in a big vehicle, but like in the cut is what I meant to say, like in the cut adventures, then a smaller vehicle is a little bit better. So that's why I switched rigs, and I prefer this model and this size. What else? Okay, so a couple of common questions that I get is about my music in my videos. I've had this question a couple times. The music from my videos comes from Epidemic Sound, and unfortunately that's not like a streaming thing. It's like it's mainly made for creators. It's a dope service. Music is very important to me, as you see. Like that makes the video for me. Like that's my favorite part, is scoring the video to the music, because it just tells the story so much better. But yes, I use Epidemic Sound mainly for all of my music on my videos. It's original music, and there's some hot songs. Like I have a whole little playlist, the little jams that I be playing. I made a little zip drive or thumb drive of the music from my videos, just so I can listen to them while I'm on the road, because they're like dope songs, and I'm like the only one that like knows about them and knows, well, not the only one, but like that listens to them on a regular basis and knows the words to a bunch of like original music. So yeah, that's where I get that. I always have that in the description of my videos. I used to write out all the titles of each thing. It's not necessary to do because it's copyright free music. But I did that just in case anybody wants to know. But I stopped doing that just because it's like it takes up so much time. But if you are a content creator and you want some better quality music in your videos, check out the link in my description and you can get 10% off Epidemic Sound when you sign up for a 30-day free trial. This is also not sponsored, just letting you know. Another question is, where do Black people go to camp? This is another question I get, and I think maybe because of the whole Black Travel Tribe thing that I do and Black Nomads Meetup, that like I'm worried about, and maybe that seems like I'm worried about like where Black people could go, and that's not really the case. Like I feel like Black people can camp wherever the fuck they want to camp. You just got to get out there and do it. Like not worry about other people judging your experience. A lot of people don't do it because they're like, well, I feel like I need to know another Black person that does it. I'm like, watch my videos, you can see all the places. But I don't really like let that stop me from where I'm planning to travel. If that was the case, I wouldn't have went to New England at all, because from like Vermont all the way up to Maine, it's very little Black people. like it's very little Black people. There was a lot of times where it was just like, yeah. But I scan, I do the little check. Hey, what's up? You see that one person in the grocery store or whatever, but like I don't stop that from like, I don't make that distinction on like, oh, okay, this is not a good place to be because there's no Black people, like or like that. So I just feel like Black people can camp wherever you want to camp. Whenever you feel comfortable, whatever your desire of where you want to see and travel to, go there. Like I said, it's the energy put out is the energy you bring back in. And so if you want to have a good experience wherever you go, then put that out and you will. If you think that you're going to have some trouble, if you have fear or worry, you're going to bring that into your travel experience and you will attract that. So the best thing to do is to work on releasing that limiting mindset. And then the last question, I think I already answered, which is how I find free spots. Mainly iOverlander. I also have a couple other apps that I use, like Trucker Path. That's a really good one to find, like truck stops, rest areas, Walmarts that are not listed on iOverlander. And then I use Boondocker's Welcome when I feel like I need to plug in for a couple days, because with my electrical setup and my solar situation, we'll just call it the situation, I need to plug in every once in a while, so I can be off grid or dry camping for a good while. But if I need to like recharge like my laptop all the way up and use it for a couple hours, like I really need to be plugged in. So those are the apps that I mainly use to find free camping. So that is all for the Q&A, unless you have some answers. Let's see. Anybody else? Do you go live on other platforms? I'm usually, when I do YouTube live, I'm doing Instagram live as well, but because today I just wanted to focus on updating my subscribers on what I'm doing, because I mainly update them on that stuff on a regular basis. Like, I'm more active on there as far as like putting videos and personal content and stuff like that, which I want to get better with doing on YouTube. Because I can post a lot of the same stuff from Instagram to on YouTube too. But yeah, so those are my Q&As. So I just wanted to wrap up with my upcoming videos. So I last left you in my RV travel adventures in Florida last winter, or the end of last winter, which I believe there is one or two more videos that concludes my Florida adventures when I was down there. And then it brings you up to speed to where the Black Nomads meet stuff. So 2 lives ago, I talked about that, like where I was like, okay, I'm going to take a little detour in the timeline, show you some cool stuff, and then I'll go back and show you how I got there. So we're almost to that point. And because there's always a backlog of travel videos. That's another thing. Like, it's really hard to like plan when the video comes out or how many videos I can get out, because I'm traveling all the time and it's just me. So I'm filming, uploading, downloading, editing, then putting it out, then marketing it all by myself, and like trying to do that while you're traveling too. Like I that's why I don't have like a day that I put out the video. I just put it out when I'm done. Like, that's basically what's been happening. So I would like to be more consistent on like how and when I put out the videos, and really move closer up to reality or this present time moment, as far as the backlog of videos that I have. But as I will be in Florida for the next 8 months, obviously I'm not going to be doing adventure videos anymore. So, or at least for a while, I'm going to switch into doing some more how-to videos about RV life and how I do it. And I'm also going to throw in some DIY and repair videos. I have a backlog of some things that I did in my RV that I think might be interesting for people to see how I do stuff by myself. I think that would give people some insight on kind of like how I put all this together. I also do plan to do an updated tour video very soon. I'm just trying to find somebody help me film it this time versus doing it myself, just because I want to be able to show things in a different way. So, but like from that first tour video, if you've seen me on YouTube, that most popular video, like things look very different in here since then. If you even look behind me, I took down like the art that I have up here because I want to put some new art. I still have the mermaid painting up there, but this is new. I made this when I was in North Carolina, so that was fun. But I put my diplomas and stuff by the door before you walk in, and I want to make this a whole art wall right here with some new stuff that I create. Or that somebody else creates. If anybody wants to donate, if any artists are out there and they want to send me some fan art, that would be dope. But yeah, so a lot of things have changed. The floors have been redone, different curtains and things like that. Stuff that's like old to me and most of anybody that's like been in and out of my RV in the last like 6 to 8 months. It's not new to them because it's been here for a while, but like it's new since the last video. So I do plan on putting out an updated tour video. And then I also want to do some roundtable, some more roundtable videos. And yeah, that's what's coming up in the feed. If you guys have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see, please put them in the comments or send me a DM or an email. If you'd like me to cover anything that I have not covered in videos already, your suggestions are highly welcomed because I'm making these videos for your entertainment. But yeah, that's it. That's it for that. So we're gonna wrap up today's video with a little singing and songies. Let's see, what song should we sing?
Play by USB drive. AUX mode.
Let's see what we want to play here. We'll play a YouTube approved video song from Epidemic Sound.
Play by USB drive.
I hope you already listened to that song. Let's see. I could really use a change of scenery. Let's see. These are all my favorites. Just trying to find one. This is more of a dance one. Okay, let's do this one. This is my new favorite one. My heart is in chains, but now I'm free. Yeah, I am only focusing on me. Love isn't something that I need. I'm sorry if I'm making you feel like I healing you on, but only then you don't need someone by my side. But we could have some fun, baby. Let's go, nothing serious, baby. Oh, we could have some fun, baby. Let's go. But I'll be riding so low. I don't need no man, no. I'll be riding so loud for life, so loud for life, so loud for life. I'll be riding so low. I don't need no man, no. I'll be riding so loud for life, so loud for life, so loud for life. I can see the way that you've been watching me. There's something to come up here. I'm just dancing with my girls. Yeah. All right, we're wrapping up today. Thank you for coming to the YouTube Live. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Let me put the mic down. But yes, thank you so much for coming to my YouTube Live. I appreciate all of you guys for supporting me and my channel. You guys are awesome. Awesome. High five. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You guys have a great, awesome week. I will have a new video out sometime this week. So stay tuned to that. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace and blessings. I'm out.